Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing what are direct quotes and indirect quotes. There are different types of foreign exchange quotes. The other two which we will not be discussing in this video are American quote and European quote. We will be discussing those two quotes in the next video. Now let us learn to classify a foreign exchange quotation as direct quote or an indirect quote. I have already written the meaning of direct quote and indirect quote. Direct quote means a quote, a particular forex quote will be called a direct quote if in that particular quote the price of 1 unit of foreign currency is expressed in domestic currency. Similarly, if the price of 1 unit of domestic currency is expressed in foreign currencies, then that particular forex quote is called an indirect quote. Based on the two meanings occurred here, the basis for classifying whether a particular quote is a direct quote or an indirect quote depends on the residence of a person, residence of a country. It depends on which currency you are going to consider as a domestic currency. It depends on the residence of a person, residence of a trader, importer or an exporter. Let us see two examples of a direct quote and an indirect quote. First, I will write a quotation, forex quotation here. USD INR 70. One more quotation. INR USD 0.0142. That's it. 423. 42. Let us keep it at 42. Now, I have written two quotations here. We need to identify whether the first quotation is a direct quote or an indirect quote. It will be decided based on the residence of the trader. Let us consider our residence to be India, which means our India's currency INR becomes our domestic currency. If India is a domestic currency, then the first quote, USD INR quote, will become a direct quote because USD will become the foreign currency. USD will become the foreign currency and base currency is and it is in the base position, and base position currency is always expressed in 1 unit. INR is the quote currency and 1 unit of USD is expressed in INRs. You see the meaning here of a direct quote. Price of 1 unit of foreign currency is expressed in domestic currencies. Our price here in the first quotation, the price of 1 unit of US dollar, which is a foreign currency, is expressed. The price is expressed in INRs, which is our domestic currency for us in this situation. Therefore, the first quote becomes a direct quote. This is a direct quote. Let's come to the second quote here. In the second quote, INR is in the base position, USD is in the quote position. The second quote is just the reciprocal of first quote. They are interchangeable. It just depends on how you see a particular quote. If USD INR is a direct quote, then INR USD will be considered as an indirect quote because the price of 1 unit of domestic currency is expressed in foreign currencies in the second quotation. Our INR is in the base position, it is 1 unit and it is a domestic currency, the value of 1 INR is expressed in USDs. Therefore, INR USD code is an indirect code. Now this was in terms of India, if India is considered as a domestic currency. Let us now consider US as our domestic currency. I will use a different shade. Let us consider US as our domestic currency. What happens? In case of India, USD INR, we called it a direct quote, and INR USD, we understood that it was an indirect quote with respect to India. Now, if the United States is the domestic currency, then I will write two quotations here, 3, 4. USD INR 70. The first quotation, INR USD 0.0142. If US is your domestic currency, then INR becomes your foreign currency, and it is in the base position, and it is expressed in 1 unit. 1 unit of foreign currency expressed in domestic currencies will be a direct quote. Therefore, INR USD is a direct quote for US. USD, let's come to the fourth quote, USD INR 70. USD is our domestic currency. It is in the base position, so it is 1 unit. 1 unit of domestic currency expressed in foreign currency, which is INRs here, makes the forex quote an indirect quote. Therefore, USD INR becomes an indirect quote. When you compare all these 4 quotes, you will find that the quotations are exactly the same, but a direct quote for India becomes an indirect quote for US, and an indirect quote for India becomes a direct quote for US. Please note, they are exactly the same quotations. There is no changes made. INR USD 0.0142 written in the third quotation is same as the second quotation. There is no difference in the quotation. But because direct quote or an indirect quote is classified based on the residence of a person, residence of a trader or a dealer, for India, INR USD becomes an indirect quote, and for US, INR USD becomes a direct quote.